This episode takes place over the course of multiple weeks because I've been doing the floor pans and interior cab welding and repairs around everything else. So we're going to jump back in time several weeks and kind of go along the way. So sit back and hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks. Time to jump back on this long bed. Get all of this. We're going to lose our ventilation, but we'll have, place to rest our you-know-what kickers. So, going to cut off the rocker panel, cab corner. I already cut most of the floor out. Get all this off. Get the new stuff welded in. We're going to go ahead and take this door off because the front door post on the driver's side has to come out too. And to weld a new one in, I'm not going to fight trying to go around this door. And also this door needs to come off anyways because the front edge of it is kinked. So I might as well go ahead and get two birds stoned at once, right? So first step to taking this door off is pop the clips out that hold this door card in place. There's one screw that holds the door card in through the hand pocket. No, that can't be right. The finger tray, whatever you want to call that. My window crank is already broken off, so I don't have to worry about that. And then there's 4 bolts that hold the door onto the door swing brackets. And then you've got a wire right here for your door speaker. Get to it. It really helps if you have these trim tools. They're $4 at Harbor Freight for a 4-pack. And you just, oh, okay, well, those are already broken. Okay, so we're gonna pretend that I had to pop those out. They're actually all out already. Oh, okay. We've got some waspage. Oh, 2 of them. And I just found a nest too. So we'll go ahead, we'll keep these, we'll save them for later. Never know when you might need them. Not 2 minutes ago, I said to myself, no way we're taking this fender off today. So I'm going to go ahead and take this fender off. Yeah. Talking about the little DeWalt that could. Turns out these are really easy to remove when they're completely broken. Oh, that's awful. Who thought of putting a bolt right there? I'd like to have a word with whoever at Ford thought it was a good idea to put this bolt in here where you can't get to it. It's like a polyamorous family of acrobats that live in a state that the election depends upon. 3 degrees of swing. Hood prop is engaged. Let's go. Now where did that bolt go? The most important one that you can't get replacements for the bottom of the hood hinge, dropped off into the abyss. I think it's just hanging. Okay. Fender removed. Be real careful with your fender liners because these things are unobtainium for the front. Cannot get them. If you need a set, you're either going to have to find a truck in a junkyard or buy another truck yourself because these do not exist. So take good care of them. What flavor of, ooh, that's nasty. That is nasty. I drug this out of a swamp in Louisiana. Yet still I'm surprised at, the swamp mess that I find inside it. I think if you take this and just wet it down, that's a gumbo base, right? Doesn't hurt to try. Yeah, she was sitting in that swamp for a long time, just collecting all the trees and debris and you name it. It's good. It's real good. I'm gonna just lay out what I'm gonna do, start cutting, and go to town. I don't think there's gonna be as much talk through this time. Just kind of put on some music and let it go. Hope you enjoy. Solid. When you hit a bump, do you feel like Michael J. Fox wiggling around your cab? Have you noticed that your doors have gotten very hard to close? Do your body lines not line up anymore? If so, maybe time to change out your body mount bushings. So I'm going to give you a little how-to today on how you do that. If you notice cracks like this, time to go. So before I take anything loose or do anything like that, I want to go ahead and mark the position of my cab because, you know, when taking these off, there's nothing else that supports the cab. So taking them loose, lifting it up, it's easy to get misaligned. And if we just go ahead and do a little bit right now to mark it, saves a lot of time down the road trying to finagle this and move it whenever the whole truck is on here. So put our straight edge up against the outside of the frame. We're going to come over here, make a little reference line. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. As long as it works for you, that's all that counts. All right, so I got my line here, which lines up with the outside of the frame rail there. Oh, that's crazy. I wonder where that came from. Well, it has an exclamation point, so might as well go ahead and do it. So if you just go ahead and subscribe, that'd be great. And then I have a big straight line over here too from the outside of that frame rail. So now I know whenever I take these rear cab mount bushings out, raise the cab up, I can using my straight edge before I tighten them down so I know that I have it in the right spot. All right, the bolt is out, but I think we may be in another situation where they're seized. Great, my favorite. I'm going to show you all how to replace your body mount bushings. These are the rear cab mount bushings. These are the front cab mount bushings. And up here, you have the core support bushings. I'm going to show you how on these cab bushings, and the rest is the exact same. Obviously, you don't have to take your whole cab off. This is just something that I did because I'm doing a full restoration on this truck and wanted to show you while I'm doing this, because these bushings can be very difficult to get off. I come up with a pretty slick way, I think, of getting these off. It has worked well for me on several of these trucks, and just wanted to share it with you all so you can see. So first thing we're going to do is get this rubber off. Again, this can be done with the cab still on the truck. I did that truck over there with the cab still on. You just jack it up a little bit to get the tension off of these, and then do the same process. So basically what you're going to need: a big screwdriver or a small pry bar, a large pry bar, a razor blade to get the rubber off. And then you'll need a clamp or something to block the metal up, and a cutoff wheel to cut the metal core out. Because what happens is they fuse together, and there's no amount of pulling or anything that you can do to get those apart. So to start, just get some of this junk out of the way. Get a good bite with your screwdriver. And then work your pry bar in there. Get a good amount of low tension on this thing. Then you're going to take your razor and just slice it. And then do it again. So by no means are these easy. This is an easier way of getting these off. Because when they get rusted together like this, they're pretty much inseparable. And then once you cut all the way to the core, you can get your screwdriver in here and just peel it off. There it is. Now I'll show you on this one that I already got the rubber off. I've got it clamped in the up position so that I can put my Metabo in here, cut that off. And you'll see this thing can still spin on there, but inside there is no separating them. There it is. Back on welding today. Got a new bottle of argon, ready to go. So I'm going to finish welding out this front part of the passenger floorboard where it meets the firewall, and then get on cleaning the seams, go from there. If you're working on one of these old rigs and you want to, freshen it up and everything, probably run into a lot of this old seam sealant. Trying to use picks and scrape it off like that, just trying to pull it off, can work eventually, but it's pretty tough, especially with as much as they used to put on there. So the easiest way to do it is take you a torch and heat it up real good, and then get a scraper, and it'll just come right off. And then you can use, if you have a pick or if you have a scraper like this, to scrape out in the groove between the seams, pull all that old crap off. Now, you will definitely need to do this in a super well ventilated area, and you're going to need a respirator or something because it is very bad. It's very strong smelling, probably terrible to breathe. So do this where there's lots of ventilation. So you can see these spots actually held up pretty well because the metal is still nice and galvanized underneath. It's not rusted. Whenever you take it off, if you see real rusty, that means the seal failed and you had moisture penetration. So what I like to do once I get all this off is come in with a wire wheel, clean it up really well, hit it with primer, and then put the new seam sealant in there so it's not sealing on bare metal. And then after all the new seam sealant is in, then I'll come and spray paint over it. And then later on, we'll paint the full inside of this. But just as a protectant, I like to paint after I put the seam sealant in there. So I'm going to get the rest of this cab knocked out and check back in with you after a while. Got all the old seam sealant out. Came through with the wire wheel, like I said. Cleaned it up pretty good. Picked everything out between the seams. This is one of those times where you need to remind yourself we're going for protection, not perfection. So you want to get this clean, treated, mitigate any rust that you have going on, and seal it so that you don't have any issues. You don't want solid seal, airtight, watertight, good to go. So whenever you're putting your seam sealant on, I would recommend putting painter's tape or something on either side of it if it's on a visible seam, if it bothers you. If it doesn't, you don't necessarily have to. It just ends up a lot cleaner if you do that. Then you can peel it off and you have just a nice bead. If you're going on areas that'll never be seen again, kind of your choice. At long last, the top side of the floors are done. So I got the floor pans done, rocker panels, outer rockers, door supports, cab corners, you name it. All the seam sealant stripped out of the bottom, everything replaced, treated, good to go finally. And I'm sure a few of y'all are going crazy out there because I haven't done the whole cab yet. And it's for a very specific reason. I live in Texas, very wet, a lot of humidity, and I don't have a shop. As you can tell, this is in my driveway. So I have to work on this a little bit at a time, get it done, get it sealed up, move on to the next thing. I would love to just strip this whole cab down in one go, but flash rusting and water getting into all the crevices, that's why I haven't done it. So I'm doing one part at a time, and then at night I wrap this whole thing up. I throw a heater in there to keep the moisture out, such and such. And yeah, so that's why I'm doing it this way. Soon I'll be handling the top of the cab, taking out the glass, doing the windshield channel. That's the hardest part that's coming up. And once I'm done with that, then I'm going to jack it up and I'm going to clean and treat the whole bottom underside of the cab and bed line it. But that's for another day. For now, the cab floor is done. I'll show you. All right. Floor looking pretty good. And like I said before, the reason all this is just partially painted is the goal is protection, not perfection. The whole cab is going to be painted later, but for now, I just wanted to get everything replaced, get all the seam sealant in, get it treated, stop any chance of rust, and now we have a real good, solid floor the whole way around. Not too shabby. And here we can see the driver's side. I still need to make a plate to cover that, but that's coming later on. That doesn't have anything to do with this. It's really starting to feel like this truck is making progress, like hitting little milestones, like welding in new floors and the rockers and having just a solid foundation for the cab. To me, really help a project like this feel like it's coming along, even though I know obviously there's still a lot of work to do. Like I talked about in my last video, how setting specific tasks and having like a checklist of, oh, I want to get this done, I want to get this done, checking those off feels good for one, but also it feels like you're actually making progress versus working on a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. I like to get one thing done, move on. So now we know the bottom of the cab is rock solid. So again, thank you all for watching Maxwell's Garage. Stay tuned for the next episode coming soon and keep following along. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. You can click the notification bell to be notified every time I post a video. I would recommend that. I'm just kind of biased, but I would recommend it. And if you like the video, leave a like, share it to your friends, your coworkers, people you don't like, people in the Taco Bell drive-thru, anybody. Somebody walking down the street, here, you should check this video out. Hey, have you heard about this video? Every little bit helps. Thanks.